Hey, hey, welcome to the shores of Casco Bay, Maine. Stephanie Helms here. Hope you're all doing okay. Enjoying the superb owl. If you're here, you're probably not enjoying the superb owl, and you find this form of football a little bit more fascinating. So, perusing the YouTubes earlier this evening, I came upon a fascinating stream involving biology. No, I'm sorry, geology and stuff. It was really kind of cool. Towards the end, a certain Brazilian fella decided it would be a really cool idea to jump in and say, "Hey, are you all still talking this ridiculous atheism stuff?" And a certain Brazilian fella has a history of being unkind in the extreme to trans people. Um, Aside from his shitty takes, he's taken shitty actions against trans people, and I can't go for that. It's not your crappy ideas. But if you go out of your way to dead name people and dox people that just simply don't want to be either of those things, it seems to me you need to take that on yourself. And it wasn't so much the fact that the guy showed up, can't blame him, I guess. But in this stream, there was his presence was taken in a lighthearted sort of way. I think a lot of people don't take to heart how mm, how deeply hurtful it is to go so far as to say, as to joke with the guy and, say, hey, I'll make you a mod on my channel and, just sort of toying with it. I mean, it's funny in certain respects, but I think that creators need to take their channels and their content seriously and their audience seriously. And trans people's issues seriously. I mean, if a theist has takes his religion to give him permission to treat people as if they're subhuman, don't deserve consideration, and that's where his religion leads. That's a shitty religion. I mean, you're not entitled or empowered by your imaginary sky daddy to make other people's lives a living hell. When I held a religious belief, that's not the God that's not the God I imagined. And maybe that is the God that people worship, in which case the guy's you know, doxing everybody all the time and dead naming them all the time. Maybe that's cool. But it ain't cool with me. And in this atmosphere of uh, of legislative efforts directed at making trans people invisible, making their lives more difficult, sometimes in the name of God, sometimes in the name of saving, of protecting some sort of thing. I don't know what they're protecting aside from patriarchy and a very constricted view of what constitutes humanity. It's very, very hard for trans folk to move around in the world. I want people who think of themselves as allies to give it some consideration before they play around with people that they know have done things that are dangerous to individual people and who feel entitled to and are granted the privilege of um, assuming roles as um, genuine interlocutors, as mods. I mean, come on. Think about what allyship means. You give somebody access to your community when you somebody says the sound is crackling. I'm so sorry. I'll see what I can do about that. Hang tight. With the AirPods, I don't know if that's any better. Sometimes my mic fucks up. Anybody in the chat over there? Let me know if the sound's working. I'm gonna just check my audio here. Gonna check my audio here. Okay, maybe it's working now. I don't know. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, people need to check themselves a little bit when they consider how they engage with somebody who's got a known history of of taking affirmative steps to make somebody's life miserable. And I'm not talking about somebody with transphobic ideas. I mean, I engage in that sort of thing all the time. I'm happy to engage with people, hopefully lead them through their arguments, hopefully explain how they might be wrong, how they might do better, if they care to do better, and even if they're openly hostile, I'm still happy to engage for the benefit of the audience to see how short their arguments come in real life and how made up their arguments are in fighting a straw man or woman or straw trans man or woman or non-binary person or queer person or this or that or the other thing. I'm talking about someone who has taken affirmative steps like publicly dead naming someone, publicly doxing someone. That shit doesn't fly. Dangerous. It's just fucking dangerous. People like the Brazilian douche canoe should be at, at least called out. And call out their shitty ideas. And we don't need to get into the specifics of what this person did. But the knowledge of what this person did is pretty widespread in the community, and people in the community should know better than to even in jest make him a mod, even temporarily. And when I see that stuff, I'm going to call it out if I'm engaged in a stream. I mean, think about what allyship is. Think about the consequences of 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 entertaining that sort of platforming, that sort of affirmation. Because that's what these people want. They just want another place to go. They're promoting their stuff. They're promoting their ideas, and they're using you to do it. It's very, very difficult because this that in the new media environment that we're all living in today. Uh, Question of what's showbiz, what's not showbiz, what are eyeballs on screens and asses in seats, and is that what I'm after? I mean, I'm asking myself this question right now. Is that what I'm after? I don't know, but uh, that I don't think it's trivial um, to platform something. This sort of goes to the whole recent brouhaha and controversy over the wizard game. It's like some people want to play the wizard game, and because it's the wizard game and it's fun. And some people think it's rather trivial for trans people to make a minor ask saying, "Hey, don't support the wizard game because the wizard lady is using her billions to fund things that are dangerous to trans people's health because of a sort of I don't know what Wizard Lady's issue is with trans people, but she clearly has one, and she's clearly using her money to uh, make trans people's lives more difficult than they already are, and they're pretty difficult. Let me tell you something. Going through transition or even contemplating it is not something someone undertakes on a lark or because of social contagion or because of anything other than the fact that this is how they are, this is how they feel. There's a good deal of work that needs to go on in in even approaching the notion of 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 uh, of transitioning, and it's not something people do for a pickle dish or a trophy or a you know or to get some sort of cheap thrill. It's what people do in order to live. And when people like the Brazilian douche canoe uh, decide that that it's okay to be flip and just casually throw chaos into somebody's life, and people know about that, maybe other people who consider themselves allies could consider the damage that individual person did to another individual's lives and take it that way. Be serious about it. Want to be an ally? You don't get to just call yourself one. You have to be one. That's about all I gotta say. So, thanks for those of you who visited the shores of Casco Bay. Um, if I was a little bit rough here, I'm a little concerned. Not for the first time, and not, for many times with this guy. Uh, but please think about the people that are affected when you interact with folks like that. Okay. Again, I'm happy to talk. I do talk with people who carry transphobic views or who aren't transphobic, consider themselves allies, but are misinformed about the some of the most basic things about medical care, about all of the stuff, about the process. Um, some of you followed me. I've told my story in little snips and bits, and I'm not going to get into that here. Uh, but I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned about the way people approach the issue, and in a somewhat flippant way. And to trans people right now, it's anything but flip, because there are serious bills and serious legislative legal actions being uh, being put in place in the UK, in states in the United States, that have real impact and are going to be seriously disruptive to real people. And I know we're a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of the population, but they're still real people. We're still real people. So think about that, okay? Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.